Everybody, JawsJr here for another quick adventure. This one was just a quick video I wasn't even anticipating making, but I'm going to. What you're looking at here is a batch of material now that is a bunch of odds and ends pieces that I threw in here. They're kind of special because a buddy of mine, Jim, who's now passed on, was the one who found these things, and his daughter gave these to me. So this is basically a bunch of his stuff. And I've decided to go ahead and tumble everything together at one time. Now what I did on this here, and you can see it's not too full. See? Not too full. Maybe probably fuller than what most of you would want to use. But it's not too full. But what I started off with using it was the Highland Park Silicon Carbide 6090 grit. Now, I've done previous videos on this here and showing you how much smaller the granule size is of this 6090 as compared to, say, the Rock Shed. Well, this has been rolling 7 days in a QT12, so it's been rolling at 31 to 32 RPM now for 7 days straight without a problem. But once I open it up, this is not working good. This 6090, I've had excellent luck with it, using it on obsidian and using it on quartzite. But when it comes to this really, really rough material here, that the 6090 that I've gotten from the Rock Shed, that's a little bit overall a more coarser grain size, you haven't had a problem with. This batch here, I'm having an issue with. And once I opened it up and drained it, I immediately knew what the deal was, what was going on here. So, I'm going to be ordering more 6090 grit from the Rock Shed probably tonight, so we can fix this problem. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and roll this here in 36 grit. I'll put a cup of that in here and let it roll for the next 7 days. I knew this was going to take multiple times anyway, the coarse grit, but I was expecting a little bit more grinding action than what you get here. I mean, look at the edges are even fairly sharp yet. So, some of these here were already kind of rounded off, but you know, I'm just, based off of my experiences, it did not do a very good job. And the thing is, though, the grit was all used up, and I used exactly 1 cup of grit in this. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go ahead and load this thing up with some 36 grit. I'll put it back on the QT12, which the 36 grit on the QT12 is okay, but I prefer it on the Beast, where I can adjust the speed up to about 39 to 40 RPM, where I really get that grinding action. So we'll see what I do here. This is a problem when you run multiple batches, like I do, is that you need something specialized, and I'm running it in the generic QT12, which is a fantastic machine. I love it. But it does not roll fast enough for this bigger barrel using the coarse grit, the extremely coarse grit, such as this 36 grit, which is going to go in there. So yeah, there's where we're at. I was kind of surprised. I was expecting this to be worn down a little bit more. But now I know that your source of grit, even coarse grit, is important. You have to understand all of this. These are things that you don't learn by watching other people's videos. You don't learn by just asking Facebook. These are things that you learn through experience, and I am actually sharing my experience with you guys. You're seeing it firsthand. I just opened it up and cleaned it out and realized, okay, this is a problem. So I wanted to show it to you. So there we go. We're going to go ahead and get this thing loaded up with the coarse grit and go from there and get this next batch back on the QT12. I might swap this one out, put it on a barrel out with this, and put it on the Beast, but my barrels are tumbler specific. This barrel here, the number 4 barrel, has been on the QT12 since basically I've had it. I don't like swapping it around. Just kind of how I am. So I might just leave it on the QT12 for the next 7 days and then come back and take a look at it. So there you go. Just a quick video here showing you that, hey, your source of grit and polish truly matters. And as I've shown in a prior video, the grain size of the Highland Park is significantly smaller for the 6090 than what it is from where you get the Rock Shed 6090 coarse grit. And again, I'm going to go in the house, I'm going to fire up the laptop, and I'm going to be ordering myself some right now. I will probably have some prior to this batch being completed. In this 36 grit I'm throwing in here, I might not go with the 36 grit, although I threw some in there already, ain't going to matter. I might go 4670 if I've got some. But I've got the 36 sitting right here next to me. 4670 would work quite well as well for this purpose. But I'm using what I've got with me. Have any questions? Drop them in the comments below. We'll see what we can do to help answer them. Tumbling rocks and polishing rocks, there is not one specific recipe, because there's recipes for the obsidian that's totally different than it is for this mix of a lot of different stuff. But yeah, obsidian, tumbling obsidian, totally different. It's a totally different animal. Tumbling the quartzite batch that you guys will see a future video series on, totally different than obsidian or this really hard material. So just keep that in mind. When you open a barrel up and you're not happy with what you've seen, think about what was the process. What was the source of your grit and polish? And I'm not saying that this is bad. I mean, I love this stuff for obsidian. And it worked great on the quartzite that I was working on. It's just not working that good on this really hard material that I've got thrown in here, which is a blend of, it's mostly jasper. Yeah, it's mostly jasper. There's some agate in there. This one here is kind of a conglomerate type thing. I just threw it in there. It was in part of Jim's bucket that he had. But you know, I want to do him right. He's no longer with us, and I want this batch to turn out good. So there you go. Everyone's life's an adventure. Then there's mine. Facing the realities of the different types of coarse grit from different manufacturers. This is the Adventures of JawsJr. Have a good one, everybody. See ya.